That was Lydia Caparo there, of course, very credited indeed, and wishing her all the best as she, continues with her dominance. They always say that, the rest is history, but in her story, it's not about the rest is history. It's about history in the making as she continues to rise. Congratulations to her and wishing her all the best as she continues rising up and up in the umpire's zone. That's from a cricket point of view. We now shift focus to the Safari Rally. We all know that it's always dubbed the greatest or the toughest rally in the world, with all the focus now to the WRC Safari Rally that will be taking place in the country in a matter of days. March the 20th, coming up, and it's not far. Most of the teams gearing up and getting ready to battle, the rough terrain that Kenya offers when it comes to the safari. There is a lot from dust, to fetch, and looking at the stony terrains, all that, a lot to expect. But this time round, we are joined by young, Safari Rally debutant coming up and always been very strong, was very powerful in the autocross last weekend, and hoping that that progress can steer him to some good performance in the safari. We are talking about Rajveer Thethy with us in studio this afternoon. He's making his debut in the Safari Rally, but has been in the rally scene for quite some time, gaining some valuable experience that has propelled him now to be ready and focused to tackle the safari. Rajveer, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here.
Most welcome, and nice to have you in studio once again. Let's start. You are making your debut in the safari. Last weekend, you were out in the autocross with some very, very strong, bullish, performance at the autocross. Are you using that as a build-up to the safari?
No, definitely. So we took a break from racing last year. We didn't take part in the championship, and the whole idea of that was really focused on the Safari Rally. And for us, we were building a new beast, the Subaru N12. So I think that took most of our time. So just building preparation, because for the Safari Rally, such a big event, a lot of preparation goes to it. Like, you don't realize, when you watch the event, the amount of effort that goes into it. So yes, last weekend we took part in the autocross just to test out the car, and I was just itching to drive. And once I got into it, I was like, let's send it flat out, because initially I was told, do not go fast, test the car, check if everything's working, check if it's perfect. And once I got in the car, I was like, I'm gonna send it. I'm just gonna go flat out. And yeah, it was a pretty good event. We won that event and then got the fastest timing. And the fun thing about that event was, for the viewers, there's an autocross, but the new addition was an autocross plus. So we would have our normal autocross track of 1.9 kilometers, and we took that as stage 1. And then we had an additional track of 5.1 kilometers, and people with the rally cars who wanted to prepare for safari, you could go for that, and you could go with a co-driver or without a co-driver. And this event I went without a co-driver, so luckily enough I won both the autocross and the autocross plus.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah.
Rajveer, this is your first safari, but for you, you must be understanding what the safari is all about, coming from a rally family where it's always the test of man and machine. How prepared are you psychologically as you go in for your debut in the Safari Rally?
For me, I've been preparing myself since I was a kid. I think it's always been a dream of mine to take part in the Safari Rally. And so it's more of excitement. As a rally driver, I don't really get nervous, but I really want to perform to my best ability. For me, I would set myself goals, and when I race, I want to achieve those goals. Because rallying is a bit fun, but I've reached a point where it's win or nothing. So for me, when I want to do, especially under the KNRC, my goal is either a podium or first place, because I really want to shoot up for the top.
Wow, wishing you all the best as you go for the same. Are you impressed with the car now that last weekend you were told, take it slow and easy, check what's happening, but when you got in, the adrenaline was so high that you did. In terms of preparations and looking at how, teams prepare for the safari, you must be preparing for occasions where at this point I will need soft tires to go flat out. there are areas you will need hard tires to, you know, to just ensure that you go through the terrains, more so the rocky areas, the fresh and stuff. How are you ready for the same in terms of just getting insights from previous drivers who've been in the rally?
I think one big difference for us as like local drivers is, so we have the international, the WRC guys, and the WRC 1 cars. When they first go into the track, when, like for example, the route opener goes and then the WRC 1 guys go, the road is super smooth and you don't realize there's no fresh. But these guys have so much power in their vehicles. The amount of torque they have is so crazy that because they're doing so much wheel spin, there's a lot of dust that comes up on top of the track, and that's when the fresh becomes. So when us local drivers go through, we get it rough. We get the track super rough. So yeah, I think the tire choice would be hard for this type of terrain, because when you dig it up, there's a lot of hidden rocks you can't really see because of the dust that covers it up. So it's more of like a survival game for us, just trying to survive and trying to push to be on the top.
And as we push, you know, towards being at the top and, you know, getting ready for the same, we all understand that Kenya offers a different ball game. And there are those who say, like the Swahili say, mcheza kwao hutunzwa na hutuzwa, which means you understand the terrain. But the WRC team, you know, a different man and machine that come, have all the resources that they need in terms of coming out to conquer the Kenyan terrain. Let's look at your preparedness of the car itself. Are you looking at specialized shock absorbers? Are you looking at a special engine? The car is, you know, you've modified it and gearing to go. What exactly do you think would be the differentiator between you and getting to the finishing, you know, podium?
Yes, definitely, because Safari Rally is one of the toughest rallies that happens. And yeah, for example, if you realize the WRC 1 cars, they've been allowed to have a snorkel fitted on their car. And that's never been done before, like in the past recent years. So that type of modification alone can save them because of the fresh going into the air inbox. And for us local drivers, we're really limited to what we can do, but definitely like suspensions play a big role. Like especially if you have Riga suspensions and then compared to like standard, oh, big difference. I think on the new car, I got Rigas and I could feel the difference. I'm like, where has this been my whole life? Because I've been running on stock suspensions, and once we got this, I'm like, wow, it's just amazing. So yeah, definitely power-wise, for me personally, I recommend having more of reliability than power, because you can have all the power you want, but with that fresh, you're not going anywhere. So it's more of having a reliable engine where you don't want to break down. So a lot of that goes into play, where you'd have people like saying, I want the full power, I want full boost, but you're going nowhere because you're just digging yourself more up. So I think there's a lot of strategies that go through it.
Wow.
Yep.
I like the statement, you'd rather go with reliability than power,
Yep.
where you know you can consistently maneuver through the car, is reliable all through in terms of the same. Let's talk about your partner in the car. Who are you going with, Anwar?
Yes, so for this Safari Rally, I'm partnering up with Shahbaz Anwar. He's going to be my co-driver for the event. And yeah, this is the first time we're going to be sitting together. I think he's had a good experience from his dad, and hopefully it's going to be a really good outing. We've not yet practiced together, so this is going to be our first time sitting together. But overall, yeah, I'm pretty excited to have him on board with us.
Wishing you all the best as we look at the same. Now, there's always the saying that, you know, the safari is a test of mental, physical preparedness of an individual in the car. Looking at the temperatures at the moment, very hot. How are you preparing physically so that you're able to undergo all these, you know, moments that will be very tempting in terms of mental and physical preparedness?
Yeah, definitely, especially when you sit in a rally car, it's super hot. And then when you're wearing the overall, it's like a 3-layer fireproof suit, and then your shoes and helmet, and then you're stuck inside that box with the roll cage like right behind you.
No windows opened.
No windows. If you open your windows, you're getting dust, and you don't want dust in the car. But it gets pretty hot. And for me personally, like I go to the gym, but I don't train to like weightlifting. I more train off mobility. And that mobility can help me in times of, let's say I get a puncture and I want to change it super quick. Just having that stamina on board and like having that flexibility to come out of the roll cage super quick, changing the tire and then going back in. And people don't realize it's mentally and physically draining, because you have such a good momentum, and if it stops, you can go out of your flow. So I think you need to have like a positive mindset and also be physically fit to take part in the safari.
Taking a lot of fluids?
Yes, definitely. So for us, we have a camel bag in the car. And so I mix it with an isotonic drink and water. So just to keep me hydrated throughout the rally.
Wow. But do you have time to even sip it, or you have
no, impossible.
You have a
I
straw?
think the thing is, like in a rally, you have to concentrate so much, you don't even have time to think. You won't even have time to like grab it from the back and drink. But I take it within the stages, for example, at the start or like at the stop or during transport. So I have that time to take in like fluids.
Wow. Very interesting there indeed. Now, you know, the Kenyan terrain and of course the very, very unpredictability of the Kenyan, you know, climatic conditions. It could be sunny in the morning, in the afternoon, it's completely muddy. Are you prepared for any terrain, or are you just hoping and wishing that one gives in and, you know, you just have a wet or a dry rally all through?
No, for me, I prefer both. I don't mind the mud. I actually love driving in the mud. I think it possesses another challenge and makes it more fun just because of the technicality of it. Because when you have mud, not a lot of drivers experienced in mud.
Like we are seeing there.
Yeah, like if you can see that like an R5 and like a normal Subaru can keep up with each other, because with the mud, it's so unpredictable. And that's why I love it so much, because it gives me a chance to compete with the top. Because with the powerful cars, you can't go as quick. But yeah, even if it's dry, I don't mind. For me, any challenge that comes up with me, I'm ready for it.
So when it's kind of wet, like you rightly put it, it levels the playing ground. Now it's your experience and technique that carries the day.
It's your experience. Like, for example, you can have all the power in the world, but how are you going to stop because it's so muddy, right? Wow. So it's just more about technical skills. And for me, like having a Subaru with the four-wheel drive, I can conquer people in the mud.
May your prayers be answered. May it rain at some point.
I mean, like, what should I expect from the rally? And to be honest, I am just expecting to have like a good time and taking it as a learning curve, because it's going to be my first safari rally. I don't want to keep my expectations too high, but definitely my personal goal is to win the KNRC, like probably come number one or a podium. Like, obviously I want to come number one, but even a podium would be good. But definitely under the KNRC, I want to set like a really high goal. And I think I've been racing under the KNRC for 2 years, and I think it's high time I have the correct car and high possibilities for me to do so.
And as you do this, has this been your childhood dream to be part of the Safari Rally?
I think any rally driver's dream is to be part of the Safari Rally. It's a special event, especially because it's a home race. And I've always wanted to do it. I think we've been preparing for 1 year. So definitely it's always been a childhood dream of mine.
Wow. And after the safari, assuming and we believe that everything will go well for you, after that, are we likely to see you cross the borders and you know, conquer the others?
Yeah, definitely. Let's see how the safari goes. If it goes well, we'll probably do a couple of WRC events. And if those go well, next year you'll probably see me in the Junior FIA Championship. Wow,
wishing you all the best, and it can happen. Rajveer, thank you very much for making time to be with us. In 10 seconds, what can you promise Kenyans?
What can I can promise I'll see you guys at the I'll see you guys in Naivasha. Yeah, 20 Naivasha.
20 Naivasha. Yeah. Wishing you all the best, and of course we'll be routing all for you and you know, cheering you all the way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajveer. You remember we've been with Rajveer just trying to discuss his preparedness for the safari. He is making a debut, and wishing him all the best as he prepares to conquer the safari. It's been a dream for him, and time has come for that dream to come true, and wishing him all the best. Thank you very much, Rajveer.